And the next one up is coming from El Salvador. And yeah, they're about to give 80,000 government employees Bitcoin certifications. Now, in this post, El Salvador isn't slowing down on its Bitcoin obsession. President Nayib Bukele has decided to train 80,000 civil servants in the fine art of Bitcoin. The National Bitcoin Office, which operates under the presidential office, has announced plans to launch a comprehensive certification program focused on Bitcoin. They'll also be bringing Bitcoin education to public schools using open source courses like Me Premier Bitcoin and No Nation. The goal to integrate Bitcoin deeper into the country's economy and the everyday lives of its citizens. Now, here is a tweet from the Bitcoin office saying that El Salvador will soon begin providing instructions and certifications to 8,000 public servants. And yeah, Stacey Herbert was saying El Salvador keeps winning because we keep building to the very highest standard for 3 years now, and the Bitcoin office has been trailblazing the path upon which all other nations will follow. And who knows, maybe Trump will get on this board too. Like, we need to start educating the civil servants, the people, the public, just everybody here about cryptocurrencies. Like, help them get their false narrative out that the mainstream media is already pouring their mind. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's not. Like, yesterday's documentary played Bitcoin Day, or I forget which one it was, but it came out in 2016, and just hearing those people, like, what they say, it's like we see Nick Spanos going, "Hey, do you want some Bitcoin?" And then they be going like, "Oh, I know what Bitcoin is. I want this," which is fiat money. I wish I had a dollar bill on me. Wait, hold on. I do got one. I would rather have this. And I was like, oh, those people are so dumb. If they bought that Bitcoin at that time, oh, they would be definitely well off. But no, we definitely need to educate our citizens more on it. But let's continue on with this article. The certification program, called Certification in Public Administration 1, is a 160-hour virtual training session split into 7 modules. These modules cover everything from the basics of Bitcoin to legal and management aspects of using it as legal tender. Stacey Herbert, the director of the Office of Bitcoin, believes that educating civil servants will have a compounding effect on the country's Bitcoin-driven economy. She already is planning more educational projects to push this vision forward, as she puts it. She says these educational projects are very low time preference commitments to the long-term success of El Salvador and its Bitcoin tech policy. After President Bukele's re-election in February, the administration has doubled down, ignoring the International Monetary Fund's grumbling about ditching Bitcoin. Vice President Felix Ulloa pointed out that the Bitcoin law has gained credibility around the world despite the critics. Now, of course, El Salvador is mining Bitcoin too. The country has ramped up its Bitcoin mining operations, tapping into its unique geographical features. While the initial excitement around Bitcoin was huge, everyday use hasn't exactly taken off yet. Sure, a lot of people downloaded the Chivo wallet app when it first launched, but many haven't used it much beyond collecting the initial incentives. Now, the law that requires businesses to accept Bitcoin, only about 20% of businesses are actually following it, and most of them convert Bitcoin sales back into US dollars immediately. Now, while all this is happening in El Salvador, Bitcoin stash has been looking pretty healthy right now. The country holds around 5,750 Bitcoin, valued at over $375 million. Now, this boost in value is partially thanks to the recent approval of spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds in the US, which I will be covering an article later on about how much has been. Maybe I'll move it a little bit further if I can find it. But this increase in value is a big win for El Salvador, which has been holding onto the Bitcoin despite the ups and downs in the market, and the government's decision to stick with Bitcoin is starting to pay off, at least financially. And the future might be volatile, but for now, things are looking up. And yeah, like, just by them doing this already and having their businesses like already having it, even sure only 20% is using it right now, that is still like, it's getting ready for them. Like they say, most people are like, what is it? Most people are already like switching it back into US dollars, and then I just lost my train of thought there. But no, they said most people are using or swapping it back to US dollars, but wait till the US dollar collapses and it's gone. And then they already have the tools in place where it's like, oh, well, that's fine. Like, let's like start accepting it. That's when I feel that 20% is going to shoot up even more, because what else are they going to use? So yeah, so they definitely prepare themselves pretty smart, genius actually, because we always said like 4 years ago during the last halvening, or the last halvening was like, oh, these guys jumped in early, they made it legal tender. Yeah, they're going to be very successful when this really does take off.